Do you ever feel burdened down with clutter? Do you like the satisfied feeling you get when you shop? Are you good at explaining why it was good to buy more than you intended? Because it was on sale. Do you find yourself buying things you may use and then you never actually use them? Well, me too. If you find yourself relating to any of this, you might consider subscribing and follow along, because we are working together to declutter, to work towards enjoying simpler, happier lives. That's what it's all about here. Lecrae is an American rapper and singer, and he said something pretty wise. Money cannot purchase joy. It brings temporary distractions. I think this is true of our belongings. The more we buy, the less happy we are. When we're at the store and we see everything that's available, particularly if it's on sale, we might get a shopping cart and put in what we need or we think we need, and then because the discount is so high, we tell ourselves that it's smart to buy it. We tell ourselves that we're being smart when we buy more. We're saving a lot of money, and we start putting things in our cart, and more in our cart, and more in our cart, and more in our cart, and before we know it, we're coming home with bags and bags of things, which we probably don't need. Sometimes we don't use it. We may hide it in closets or put it in bins we never look at and forget about it or ignore it because we wish we hadn't have bought it, and we're too embarrassed to take it back. We're embarrassed to tell anybody that we have it. Shopping apps on my phone have made it so much worse, and I have found myself shopping when I'm bored or stressed or imagining that I need to buy more. Being a YouTube creator has definitely escalated the problem for me. When I started my channel in October of 2019, I thought, well, I'm just going to clean my home. Then in December, I put up a little tour of my home showing my Christmas decorations. I didn't know that it was a thing there and that people like watching those videos. That is still one of my most popular videos. I didn't know that people showed off new decor, so I showed the decor that I'd been collecting for over 45 years. Some of it went back to the beginning of our marriage, and because I'd had a habit of buying just a little bit every year, a lot of it was just to replace what had worn out. We had a pretty good collection, and I was able to decorate our home very nice. I was pretty innocent in those days. Got some very nice comments, but one man made a comment that really troubled me. He said, "Your decorations are all very old and very childish." Well, that made me feel kind of bad, and I looked at it, and yes, I had a lot of childish decorations, but that's because I had been decorating to please our children and grandchildren. I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do that. I looked around and saw that other creators, the ones that were decorating their home, were buying a lot of new things. In fact, they made it a habit to show new decorations so that they could inspire people with what they could do. And they were doing a lot of shopping, and they were doing hauls and showing people what they had bought and talking about Hobby Lobby and Michael's and Target and Joann's and TJ Maxx. A lot of places where they were buying these decor pieces. They bought a lot from Amazon and other sources. Well, this was a completely new idea for me because, you see, in the past, Christmas was my big decorating feat, and I decorated in a very minor way for very minor holidays, and I didn't change my decor for winter and fall and spring and summer. I kept it pretty simple and kept my regular decorations up most of the year. Because I'm like most YouTube creators, I like having people watch my videos. And since the Christmas decor tour had done well, I thought, well, I'm going to try doing some more. My problem was I had almost no decor. So I started to buy some. I have a weakness. And so when I started to buy things, before I knew it, but I bought too much, and I kind of jammed it with decor. And I found myself really kind of getting out of control. I'd go into a store, I'd see a discount, or I'd see all the pretty things that I'd never seen before, and more and more and more would get in my basket. And I became like a hunter, going from store to store, website to website, accumulating more and more and more. Then I had to buy a lot of bins to store it. And I went to thrift stores to find things, and I bought way too much there. And I bought a lot of decor without a real clear plan for it. Then I just brought it home and tried to see if I could make something nice out of it. I also have trouble shopping in the same way. I'll buy way too many clothes, way too many craft supplies and things for hobbies. I'll buy way too much food that will waste soon. I will buy too many gadgets. Just really too much of everything. Because I get in a store or I start shopping and I almost go brain dead. There is this adrenaline rush, this feeling that builds up in me, and I imagine how happy this is going to make me. Actually, I feel happy in that moment, and the longer I'm in the store, the worse it gets. And I start scanning the aisles, scanning everywhere, scanning the checkout, looking for things I can buy. I don't want to miss anything, you see. And it just builds and it builds and it builds. And then I check out and I take all the bags home. And sometimes I'm excited about some of it, but sometimes I'm left wondering, why did I do this? And I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to show my husband. I'm embarrassed to take it back to the store, which is what I should be doing, and I try to find places for it, and things end up under my bed, in my closet, just jammed everywhere. Sometimes I have storage for it, sometimes I don't, and then because it gets kind of covered up, I forget what I buy, and I end up rebuying. Yeah, it's not a good thing. So you can see why having a YouTube channel just enabled that behavior. And then I found Temu, and I saw some popular hauls about that. I'd never shopped from Temu, and I decided, well, I'll try it. I want to see what they're doing, and I kind of investigated them, and then I placed some orders, and I made some hauls, and I was honest about my experience, and they did really well. On YouTube, there's kind of a rule. If something does well, you do more of it. So I kept doing more and more and more of those videos. And they did well enough that they helped get my channel monetized. Again, I started to overspend. I started thinking, well, I need to plan out the videos in the future. So I bought a lot of things. I got some baskets from the Dollar Tree. I arranged the items into baskets, and I had enough for several months worth of items. But then I got really feeling bad about it and nervous about it and felt like I was doing the wrong things. So I tried to back off of decor and shopping hauls. Didn't go very well, so I did some more. And the problem was a big problem. When I was making a lot of money, it wasn't so bad for our family, although I should have been saving the money. My age, I should have been saving the money, but I was spending it, and I was making a lot, so I was spending it. But then I got long COVID, and I had to clean out my 401k for us to get along. And what was I doing? I was spending too much on home decor and clothing and items from Temu. It's embarrassing, but that's the way it is. And part of my recovery is to admit to myself what I've done. I talked to my husband about it, and I have forgiven myself, and now I'm telling you about it. In the middle of December, I had been feeling so uneasy and so unhappy for so long, I knew I needed to do something to change. I thought seriously about shutting down my YouTube channel. It was going to be hard to do, but if it was the right thing for me and for my family, I had to do it. Well, one day I was sitting staring at my channel homepage, thinking, can I get the courage to completely stop this? And I imagined what my life would be like without YouTube. It would certainly be easier. It would be less stress. It would take less time. Well, when I was looking at my channel that day, I got a thought. You don't need to shut your channel down. You need to change it. You need a big direction shift. And change the name so that it goes with what you want. Well, I thought about what I want most, and I knew I wanted to stop all of the shopping. I wanted to declutter my home and clean up the messes. I wanted to have just enough clothes, not too many. Just enough belongings and not too many. I knew I would never become a minimalist, but I didn't want to be impulse shopper anymore. And I wanted to be helpful to people. I wanted to talk about having a simple life and appreciate all the things I have, all the blessings I have, spend more time with my family, and just generally be happy. The name Towards a Simple Life came to me. I really like the word towards because, you see, I don't have a simple life, and maybe I won't have a simple life, but I am sure going to work hard at it. I am going to move towards it. And I think the more I work on it, the more I'm going to have it. Well, all of this meant that I had to be accountable. And I knew that if I just merely decluttered, it wouldn't solve the problem because I did have a shopping problem, and chances were very high that before long everything would be cluttered again. So I knew I had to get down to the bottom of it. I had to figure out why I was doing it so I could stop it. So I grew up in this home where girls weren't given money to manage. I was shown love with a lot of things, and I had a lot of emotional baggage that hadn't been attended to. Is it any surprise that I am an impulse spender? I needed to come up with some methods of handling the situation so I won't do the same thing. And I am going to tell you now what those things are. What I've decided I won't do. I'm not going to do a no-buy month or year. I have done 2 no-buy months over the last couple years, and while they helped me save money that month, the effect didn't last, and gradually I picked up speed and started over-shopping again. It was more important that I get to the bottom of why I was overspending. I won't go in debt. I am going to show you some home maintenance and some reworking of rooms, but it's not home decor like Christmas and seasonal. It's going to be more, here's our home, it's our biggest asset, I'm going to keep it up, I'm going to do some repairs, and here's a room that's a mess and we're going to figure it out because I really do need to straighten that out. I'm not going to do any more unfocused shopping. I must have a specific purpose that I have thought through thoroughly in order to buy something. If this thing is optional, I'm going to think about it for days, and I've already started that. I'll probably discuss it with my husband. He told me that I don't have to tell him what I'm buying, but I told him, yes, I do. It helps me to explain it out loud to you. I am not going to be angry with myself anymore. The past is the past. I am going to learn from what I've done and move forward. I'm not going to punish myself through severe spending programs and limiting behavior. I have found that type of really tight spending makes me fearful, and it makes me more likely to burst out in spending sprees. My goal now is to do low, reasonable, accountable spending, the type of spending that I can maintain long term. This is the type of spending that will make me feel happy and responsible. I've decided I am not going to pressure my family members to declutter. I'm going to do it, a lot of it, and maybe my example will encourage them to do it. But I am not going to pressure them. What I am going to do is use what we have. I'm going to make meal plans, and I'm going to make sure I'm shopping from my pantry and only buying what we need or what we need to replace. I'm going to use my old-fashioned cost-saving activities like baking from scratch, which I enjoy and my family really enjoys. I'm going to take better care of what we own, be more grateful for what we own, find happiness in simple, natural activities, enjoy my family more, continue decluttering, forgive myself for overspending, save money. What I have decided not to buy. I'm not going to buy any more hobby supplies until I use what I've already purchased, the ones that I really want to do. I'm not going to buy any new books until I've read the books I have already bought, unless I want to buy one for a specific purpose, such as making a video that will include information about that book. I'll only buy it if I can't get it at my library, and I am absolutely sure I'm going to read it immediately. I'm not going to buy any fancy hair and skin products. I'm not going to buy any more kitchen gadgets. We have plenty of them. I enjoy them. I'm going to figure out how to use them. I'm not going to buy any more small appliances. I like what I use. I like what I own. I'm going to use them. If a family member happens to give me one, like my son gave me one for Christmas, I'm going to be nice and try to learn how to use it. I'm not going to buy any more board games. We have enough. I'm not going to buy specialized, expensive ingredients for recipes. I'm just going to be making simple, old-fashioned pantry meals. I'm not going to buy any clothing that doesn't replace favorite items that I've worn out or damaged. What I will buy? Cleaning supplies that I enjoy and use and that make the cleaning process easier for me. I'm going to buy home and yard maintenance supplies, materials, and the equipment we need. Our home is our biggest asset and our savings account, and it must be maintained. I will buy puzzles. I had some brain damage from COVID, and one of the things I'm doing to help repair it is to do puzzles. I'm going to buy replacements for items we use a lot and that break or wear out. That just makes sense. We'll continue spending a little bit for our weekly dates. Going out on dates strengthen our marriage, and our marriage is very important. You might enjoy these two videos. One explains how I've become more peaceful lately, and the other one teaches how you can put off procrastinating. Hope to see you next time. Bye.